thank you very much for taking time to do this interview.
No, it was my pleasure, man. I love talking about music, so while we're all with an abundance of extra time, might as well put it to good use.
Oh, exactly. And what better way to do it than to actually be able to talk about some great music that's going to be coming out on the horizon?
And I'm glad you feel that way. We've been working hard.
Yeah, definitely sounds that way. I mean, when I'm listening to this EP, it's just, I'm really loving what you're bringing to the table. I mean, I was already a fan of the band already from what they've done previously, but what you're adding to the band just feels like the band is just like elevated to a brand new level now.
I appreciate that. It's funny. I think of it as a meeting of the minds, really. I feel like all the members of the band, we really come together at a certain point, like really when we work together and, we're in the writing process and just everyone feeds off of each other and we all push the idea back and forth till it, becomes its like final form and I was in the band, I want to say 6 months, 5 months when we started, writing new material with me and the band. And, from the go, it was just, everything, it felt fluid. We all speak the same language, I play drums as well, so there's a good bridging of the minds between Mark, who's probably our primary songwriter, and Kevin, our drummer, and myself and, the other members of the band. So there's a good flow of communication from, the rhythm section to the guitars, and so I feel like we have a interesting way of putting stuff together.
Yeah, and I love that because I instantly hear that chemistry when you're involved with it as well. It's like I can hear how you are connected to the rest of the band and the rest of the band is connected to each other. And yeah, I mean, between all four of these songs, I can absolutely hear that. And it's so cool to see that. And again, when I'm listening to what you bring to the table here and just seeing how your voice matches up with the drums and how it matches up with the riffs and everything, it's just, again, like it feels like you've taken the band to another level.
I think it just comes down to our songwriting process. I play drums, so I will sit with Mark and we'll kind of come up with a skeleton, and then we get it to a place where we like it, and then we turn over our idea to the rest of the band, and then they all start throwing in their ideas, and so I get to see the song from its like gestation to its final product, and so that way, from a writing standpoint, like lyrically, you really get a sense of the rhythm, the pace, the like what you really want to try and make shine, what riffs you want to highlight, and what the song patterns. I like bands like Boys Night Out. His lyrical execution has a ebb and a flow. It's really kinetic, and I really like that. And so that's one of the artists that I really try to emulate in some of my writing process, and it just being there from the ground level and kind of makes it an organic, when I get to writing actual lyrics, I really have a part in mind from the offset of just starting playing drums with it. Kevin will take his ideas and he'll keep some of mine, throw in stuff, we'll collaborate on things, and it just really, everyone, has a piece of it, so just everything flows from that.
Oh, again, it's so cool to see that, just that chemistry and, the fact that you are able to play drums and you are able to work with the rest of the band when it comes to either helping write songs or having Kevin being able to translate his ideas into the drums and collaborate with that together. And it's great to see when other members of a band have ideas musically of what's going on and being able to connect that way.
Yeah, we all have, each member of the band, has their own, sphere of influence, and, communication and working with others is, one of the pillars of being in the band. If you can't communicate from one side of the table to the other, you're not going to go anywhere. So that's one of the things I like about this band is just we all kind of get together, and when it's, sometimes we'll hit a wall, with a riff or an idea, and it's just like, well, one person doesn't like this, or one person is like, I'm not feeling this, and then we're like, what don't you like about it? And sometimes the person explains their idea, and and the other side won't get it. And so having people that are like an intermediary, just to be able to be like, is this what you're saying? And to just make sure that, being understood in the creative process, that just helps everyone, like, oh, well, then let's take it to this place, or let's add this part, or let's subtract this. And it's something that, it makes the writing process, like a really fun process for me, especially just getting to see an idea get brought to light, and then have other people take hold of it, and then there's a point where I become hands off. I'm just, an extra voice in the room, and, Kevin's playing drums, and it's being, crafted the way the song is going to eventually, take shape, and there's, seeing someone else take your idea and be like, dude, this is sick, and then wanting to keep that. It's like, yay, my little seedling is growing, and it just makes making music fun. And if it's fun, it just makes everything, it comes through better. It's like the song is like, I'm screaming on a part that, from the jump, I'm just like, oh, I can't wait for people to hear this riff, and I can't wait for people to hear this breakdown, or this like spazzy part. It's just like, ooh, yeah, it's cooking in the kitchen. I love it.
Oh, it's just again, it's so great to hear that's going on, and it's working out so well with the collaboration. So with that in mind, like, how did you get familiar with the band?
I was playing in another band on Scarred. They're based in the Pico area, and we played a show together. And my band had finished our set, and we were like breaking down, and Arson was playing, and they had a temporary guy, fill in or whatever, because, they had some lineup changes, since the inception of the band. And so I was just walking by and just hearing the band play, and I just remember thinking to myself, like, wow, this band is so heavy. Like, I love what they're doing. Like, everything was it just hit me. I was like, wow, this band's going places. And I'm like, all right, let me just continue with my day. And I just carried on. That band I was in, Unscarred, fell apart. I was just, dicking around reading comics online on Facebook, and I just saw Mark post, about, looking for a singer, and I'm just like, I don't know, let's see, I'll just throw my name out there, and just email them, hey man, I'd love to, get together, and then here we are, almost like 2 years later.
Oh, it's so cool to see how that happens too. It's just like, even though one band can fall apart, you never know what that next opportunity is going to lead to. And the fact that everything came together with the Arson Choir, and you were just able to throw your name out there, and you eventually got the gig. I mean, it's so cool to see what you can bring to the table.
And it just speaks to the kind of network connected nature, being in the music industry, being in the scene, or however you want to phrase it. We all kind of have connected friends, and I remember adding Mark on the Facebook because he's in the comic books, and so am I. So I remember just being like, oh, there's that guy from that band, and oh, this dude, knows about Batman. Oh, that's sick. All right, we can chat about, comic book stuff, whatever. And then so that, and then, maybe like a month or two later, they're looking for a full-time singer, and it's like, boom, and I was like, oh yeah, that guy. And me and Mark, we get on about comic books, and I'll send him stuff, he sends me stuff. When we get together, we're talking about that. Eric and I, we actually worked together for a little while, and we both kind of get on about like pop music, and like kind of the bands that you wouldn't really associate with Arson Choir, and it's just like we all kind of have this like like a meeting point, and it just makes for, you know, the product that we have, and just like the network of people, and how, you know, one thing can fall apart, and then if you still have the drive, you know, if you still want to, like, I feel like the desire, the drive to play music is like something, you know, that never goes away. Like I see friends that have like stopped, like full on stopped playing music, and I'm just like, wow, how'd you do that? I don't know how you did that. Like, you know, there's a part of me that, you know, you can be listening to music that's not listening to, you know, hip hop music, and in the back of your head you're like, but what if they played this? What if this was like distorted guitar? Like, what would that sound like? There's a part of me that still has that drive, that, you know, desire to be rowdy. So it's just, it's interesting.
Oh, totally. And again, it shows that when you have a connection that's more than just writing riffs and songs and lyrics for the band that you're in together, it can lead to so many other great things. I mean, the fact that, like, you and Mark have a connection with comics, and you're able to connect with the rest of the band on pop music, and you're able to show off all these different things that are going on outside of the band that you're working on. When you're able to have those connections, you know, it makes the band and friendship so much stronger.
Oh yeah, and you know, like any working relationship, it's not always just roses and, you know, lollipops. You know, people are gonna butt heads, and you know, if you have a foundation, you know, other than just the band, or even just the band, you know, different strokes for different folks. Like whatever makes your band work is, you know, however, you know, you make it work. But you know, for us, you know, the guys have a long history with each other. You know, Mark, Eric, and Kevin have been in various bands for, I think, like maybe like 10 years or something like that. And then so I come in as the new guy, and just like, you know, there's a little bit of, you feel like an outsider in the beginning, but you know, we bridged that gap like from the offset, and I really, you know, I like what's become of our band, and our working together as a unit. And you know, some bands continue to carry on despite not being able to be in the room together if they're not making music. But one thing I like about, you know, Arson Choir is, you know, we're all in the room together, and it's like jokes, we're laughing, we're talking about, you know, movies, or, you know, whatever is going on in the world, and you know, it's just all like fun and games. And then it's like, all right, let's get to work, and it's like boom, like everyone's locks in, and it feels good.
Oh, totally. So, when you started writing music for this new EP, I mean, what was that like for you, being able to come in and start writing for this band?
It was really interesting because, you know, I joined the band, and they're like, yay, you know, we want you to be our singer. I'm like, cool, awesome. And you know, me and Mark, we kind of connect, and we were talking. I'm like, hey man, do you wanna jam sometime? And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you want to just scream in a room with me playing guitar? What do you mean? I'm like, no man, like I play drums, you know, I played for a while. And he's like, all right, let's, you know, it's when you're starting out friendships, it's just like, all right man, let's see what you got. And then we get into a room together, like Mark and I, like we get on about bands like 18 Visions, or like Botch, you know, Heavy Lolo, you know, bands like that. And so you know, we get together, and then we start playing, and then it's fluid, and then we're just like, hey, what do you think about this? And you know, we're bouncing riffs, and we have a good, you know, work energy, him and I, when it comes to drums. But, you know, I used to be in a band that was based in Oregon called My Life in Red. I was there for like 3 years, and, you know, we played with like For Today and like Dr. Acula and stuff like that. And that's where my drum background comes from. But I haven't been avidly playing in a while. I've been mostly doing vocals for the past couple of years. And so, you know, I can hang. So, and we started coming up with ideas, and it's like, dude, this is awesome. This works. Like, let's take this idea and show it to the guys. And then everything just kind of grew as an extension of, you know, just, hey man, you want to jam? Like, yeah, and it's just that kind of just joy of just wanting to play music. Like, I'm not like Kevin is an amazing drummer. Like everything Kevin does with our ideas, I'm always just like, yeah, man, that's where I wanted that. Like he is a maniac when it comes to playing drums. I love watching him work. But it's just I just like playing drums. I'm okay. But just being able to map ideas with Mark, have him bounce ideas off me, and sometimes we'll write a riff and I'm like, dude, that's too complicated for me. Like, you know what you want to do, I can't hang with it. Let's just record the riff and we'll show it to everybody else. And then boom, Kevin is like, all right, I see what I can do with that. And then it becomes something else. Like, we already have new material in the works, and just now we've been working with each other for a while now, and like these next level songs are just just an extension of our growth and time together, and I'm really excited for once the curse is lifted on the land and we can all go back outside again, to show these songs to the public and get their reaction on those. And it's just I love what we're doing.
Yeah, and from the fan perspective, I really love what you guys are doing too, and I can't wait for when everything does get back to normal and you are able to start playing shows again, because it feels like these songs would just have such a great energy live, and for fans to be able to experience that. I mean, I love what it is on record, but I just imagine that live setting would be just even more killer.
Our live set is really where the magic happens, to use a outdated cliche. But it's our energy, coming together, feels like Voltron. We get together and it's just like, all right, man, like this is it. Like, no matter like what size the stage is or where it is, like when we get together and we're on stage together, it's like boom, we own this whole space. Like, it doesn't even matter. And it's just like our energy and just like the constrained chaos that we try and put out there. It's just like we're having fun, and that's the best part of it. And we had some awesome shows with like bands like Steak Sauce Mustache, and it's just being like playing with bands that are about the show, that are about being wild and having fun, like taking it back to where hardcore was a dangerous thing, and not dangerous as in just seeing things or crews and people beating people for just dumb reasons, but music that was violent and music that was an expression of the times that we were in, and just being wild for fun. Just like this is an expression of how we feel, and that this is either cathartic for us or just brings us joy. Like, the most you'll ever see me smile is when I'm on stage, because that's what I love doing, and it's just all an extension of that. Like, come to an Arson show, like, we'll get up in your face. Like, it's just what we love doing.
Yeah, and again, that's another reason why I love the band, is like the music does sound so fun, but it does sound so chaotic, like a controlled chaos that I love so much. I mean, and when you are able to translate that into the live setting, I mean, that's perfect for the times that we're living in right now, where you can have this brutality in that live setting, but it's also fun and so enjoyable to have at the same time, and you can get so much aggression out on both sides, whether you're on stage or off stage.
Yeah, and you want to give people a reason to to come out of their dens. The music industry, before all of the shutdown and all this kind of stuff, the music industry, what it is, like the rock scene, is having a tough time. And he's like, why would people want to come out to a show to see a bland band on stage? If you're not there because you're having fun, why are you there? And it's an extension of that. We grew up on bands like Converge, Norma Jean, the Chariot, Dillinger. It's just wild, and you go to see those bands, and you're just like, man, that was so fun. Like, that was when I really felt alive. Like, going to those shows, seeing bands like Let Live, just a wild energy. And as I remember, as an attendee, being like, yep, anytime these guys come through, like, I need this, like, this wild energy is something that, you know, I need in my life. And it's just like, we want to provide that for other people, you know, and it's just something that we love doing. And it's just like, you know, you want to give people a reason to care. And, you know, we're regular dudes, you know, we like a bunch of things, but it's just like, when it comes to playing music, there's just something that comes out. And it's just like, we want people to be a part of that. We want people to be like stage diving and moshing and move. Like, if you look, like, you feel the energy, you feel, you know, the vibe that we're putting out there. You know, let's have a good time together. And then, you know, and you take that energy and it gets you through your regular 9 to 5. And, you know, hopefully, like, the lyrics and, you know, our musicianship is something, you know, that people come to, you know, love. We're not everyone's cup of tea, but, you know, we try to incorporate finesse and, you know, style into, we're not just making noise to make noise. Like, you know, we're trying to put together what we think is like the sickest riffs for everybody. And it's like, some people don't like this aggressive style of music, but I've even come across people that, you know, see Arson live and they're like, I don't like the rah-rah, but I get it. Like, seeing you guys perform, I understand why people like this music. And hey, that's a win. And if we can do that for everybody, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, and that's just incredible when you can win people over like that. You know, like, they might not like that kind of aggression. They may not like the style of vocals. They may not like all of the chaos and sound that's going on. But if you can win them over either in the studio, when you can win them over live, whatever the case is, like, when you can win over people who don't check out that kind of music, but they can at least appreciate the show, that is such a cool thing to be able to do.
Yes, I remember we played this one, like, ding little show in Long Beach, and after the set, you know, we were probably the heaviest act on this bill, and it was like, you know, we're gonna do our thing, whatever, and we're breaking down, and this couple comes up to me afterwards, and, you know, they're just like, that was awesome, like, we were just, you know, out, you know, getting drinks, but, you know, we never seen anything like that, you know, that's not our bag usually, but, you know, we really loved what you guys did, and we just wanted to, you know, just let you know we appreciated it. And it was just like, from a performer's stance, you're just like, wow, man, like, I remember just taking that to heart. It really made me feel good. And just, you know, you may not understand it, you know, you may not understand that style of music, but you feel it. And, you know, and people they'll take that with them, and it's just, that's music. Music crosses borders, music crosses, you know, genders, all that kind of stuff. And it's just, if it touches people, you know, that's a win. And we want to make music that touches you, you know, either, you know, lyrically, or, you know, with the music, or, you know, live, you know, we show you we got what it takes in the studio, you know, get it right in the box, you know, all it takes, you know, do all the things to, you know, show you we know what we're doing. But it's like, to really have an impact on people is what makes me love being a performer. You know, it may not be on the grand stage of, you know, top 40 radio, but, you know, just seeing that you affect people on the ground level, it still makes my day, all the time.
Oh, and again, it's just, I love to hear that too, because, you know, kind of like we were talking about before, where some bands can't even stand to be in the same room together. Like, they can only be on stage together, and they have to break apart, and they've just lost that passion for music, and they're just doing it for the paycheck when you get to that high enough scale. But, you know, just hearing from you, just you know, just the joy that you get out of playing shows, the joy that you have writing the music with these guys, and, you know, just being able to continue on doing what you do, and just hearing that real passion that's behind it. I mean, it's just so inspiring to hear that.
Dude, I appreciate that, and it's just like, I feel it's just like a testament to the people that I have in my corner. Like the Arson guys. Like, I couldn't imagine walking into like a better situation. Like, I started out playing drums, you know, played drums in various bands, you know, and then switched over to doing vocals just on a whim, just to help out some guys that were down a singer, and then just like, oh, I like doing this, and it just kind of grew, and just, all right, I still want to, avidly do this whole music thing, and just like, you bounce from band to band, and then you get into a camp of people, and a group of dudes that you want to be around, that you don't want to murder in the off season, and then that you want to talk to and hang out with, even when you're not, doing things to further the band. It's just like, hey man, it doesn't get, this is a win. Like, this is, this is success, doing something you love with people that you want to be around, and making the art that you want to make. It's all, that's a win. And that makes me fulfilled as a person, and just, that's why I do it. Like, on the ground level, you have bands that have been slugging it out, through pay-to-play season and all different, types of, the ups and downs of the music industry, and you're just like, why do you do this? And it's just like, because it makes me happy, and just like, I feel genuinely lucky to be in the Arson choir, and just to have the guys, that we have, like Steven, our most recent addition, our bass player. Dude's an animal. He's so talented. I love hearing his input and the writing process, like him as a person, just little feisty little demon. And he always, like, he doesn't say a lot, but when he does, it's just like, hey man, Steve has spoken, and it's just, everything about our band just is, in my opinion, is gold, and we can't wait to, show everyone the finished product. Invisible Monsters coming soon, but I feel lucky, and I want to do everything in my power to keep the band pushing forward. Get the art out there. Like, everyone needs, we all need something to lift us up, give us a reason to move in, the day and age we find ourselves in. And it's like, hey man, we're trying to do that. And it's like, if people appreciate our music and what we're doing, if they get it, then I love every one of you, like, just for real.
Oh, awesome. And, I think with all that, I think that's an amazing note to end on, just, again, just hearing that passion, that joy that's coming through there, and, just the excitement of being able to join a band like the Arson Choir, and being able to add what you do, both on drums, on vocals, just being in a collaborative effort, and being able to release this phenomenal EP in the future with Invisible Monsters. I think this is going to be EP of the year if it comes out in 2020, which I imagine it will. It's just, all 4 songs are just incredible. I love being able to hear this, and I'm so excited to see where the band's going to be going in the future as well, too, because it really feels like the band is in absolute prime form right now, and I think it's only going to get better from here on out.
Dude, I feel the same way. We are always trying to push it, push the new songs, push our creativity, try and do stuff that we haven't done before, and it's all a collaboration. We don't play a song live until everyone checks off the box, and as soon as things turn back to normal, like, we're gonna be out there, and we're doing things, during, the lockdown, to make sure we can get the EP out as soon as possible. So we're excited, and we can't wait to show everybody what we've been working on.
Oh, awesome. Well, again, thank you very much for taking this time to be able to talk to me about everything that's going on in your world right now, and of course, the Arson Choir and the new EP, Invisible Monsters, which I just find absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to be able to help promote this when it does come out. You guys start heavily promoting it, when you release a song and you start able to start playing shows live, and I'm able to play a song on my show. It's just like, I'm so excited to be able to do all of that, because I just see so much potential that's going on with you guys, and I just know things are just going to keep getting bigger and bigger from here on out. And again, I just really appreciate you taking the time to be able to talk to me about all of it.
I appreciate you listening to the EP, and being a fan of the band, and sticking with us, through this little transitional period, and we can't wait to have this out and have our upcoming single out. We're pushing that, so as soon as we can, we're gonna try and get that to you and to all the people. You know, shout out to the bands that have been helping us along the way. Shout out to Pressure Cracks. Shout out to Steak Sauce. You know, shout out to Ursula. You know, shout out to Takers Leavers. You know, all the bands that help us along the way and have been a pleasure to play with. And we look forward to what 2020 has to offer, and we're going to be back on stage and back in your face real soon.